Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here for my NFL Week 6 picks and predictions, where last week I had yet another strong performance straight up. I went 11-5 straight up, leaving me still tied for first place for the SFE Pigskin Pick'em Challenge. However, there are less people in first place now. I think last week there were like 6 or 7. Now there's only 2. And I really should be first if I would have, because even in my week 5 video last week, I was so close. Oh, I was so close to picking the Dallas Cowboys to beat the LA Rams. I sat here for a good 20 seconds and I almost changed that prediction. Didn't have the stones to do it. If I did, I'd be sitting here in sole possession of first place of the SFE Pigskin Pick'em Challenge. But overall, 50, 29, and 1. This has me in the 99.4 percentile. I'll take that. Now, I guess the spread only 12 and 14 can certainly improve there. Will certainly improve there as the season continues to go along. With that said, let's go ahead and get into week 6 and let us begin with the Thursday night football game. And that game is the following. We have the Washington Commanders against the Chicago Bears. And this is already going to be a big one because I don't know who to pick for this game. Now, I actually had the Commanders beating the Tennessee Titans last week. So if I would have stuck with my own team, I would have been in first place of the SFE Pigskin Pick'em Challenge and even had a better record. But I just really thought the Commanders are going to win that game. And you can make a good argument that they should have. They went all the way down to the goal line, 3rd and goal, could not punch it in for the touchdown in order to win that game, unfortunately for them, fortunately for me and Tennessee Titans fans. I am still under the belief, maybe foolishly, and this game might be the the straw that breaks the camel's back, but I'm still under the belief that the Washington Commanders are not that bad. Now, they're not that good either. I mean, there's a reason I had them, I want to say 7-10, maybe 8-9 this season, 8-9 at best. And I thought Commander fans that had playoff hopes were insane. I mean, I know he's only one player, but not having Chase Young out there and only having Carson Wentz at the quarterback position, that's not enough to move me. Although they've been able to move the ball pretty well this season offensively, it's not enough to move me. Whereas the Chicago Bears, I never had faith in this season. This season, I had them winning 5 games. I still have them winning 5 games, although this could be their 3rd. I just don't believe in Justin Fields. I think he's unfortunately a bust, and I didn't think he was going to be an outright bust. In fact, when they drafted him, I didn't like the fact that they traded up for him, but I thought the Eagles should have taken him because I wasn't a big fan of Jalen Hurts at the time. Turns out I was wrong. Hurts is way better than Justin Fields, maybe because one's played for a better franchise. I don't know. You can make that argument. I'm going to go with the Commanders just because I feel that it's more likely that both of these teams have the same record coming out of this game than different. I could easily and more likely see both these teams being 2-4, bad records, than one of these teams being 1-5, an awful record, and another team being 3-3, a decent record. Because I don't think either one of these teams are decent. I don't think either one of them are awful, although the Bears' offense right now is truly awful. All right, we move on to the next game. We have the San Francisco 49ers at the Atlanta Falcons, where the Atlanta Falcons continue to cover every single damn week. It's now 5 weeks in a row the Atlanta Falcons have covered. Even last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. Can they continue that trend here? I don't know, but they're going to lose. And look, it's been a little sad for me as a Marcus Mariota stan to watch his downfall truly, and this is his downfall. He is not playing well. This experiment is going to end soon, and it's going to end badly, or at least with a whimper. I'll say that. I don't think he's going to flame and throw like 4 interceptions and then just go off into the sunset, but I think it's going to end with a whimper very shortly. In the next coming weeks, Mariota is going to be done, and that's going to be the end of Marcus Mariota as starting quarterback in this league outside of backup duty. But it was a nice try. He gave it a shot. He's just not good enough. Give me the 49ers to win this game in Atlanta. We move on to the next game. We have the New England Patriots at the Cleveland Browns, where Cleveland almost got the job done last week against the LA Chargers. Were a little unfortunate when it came to that game, but now they host the New England Patriots, where the Patriots find themselves. I am actually unsure who they're going to start this week. I assume it's going to be Zappi, starting Bailey Zappi again. I don't think Mac Jones is going to be ready. I also don't know how much I really care. This is going to be a game that really boils down to the run games for both of these teams. Now, both these teams on the ball pretty well. Ramondre Stevenson is now going to be carrying the bulk of the carries now for the Patriots, as you're seeing now that as Damian Harris is out with an injury, it's going to be the bulk of the carries on him. I don't like either one of these teams, to be quite honest with you. But the Browns, although they've been competitive in every game, they haven't been a good team. Now, neither of the Patriots, but at least the Patriots have competed against the Packers. And okay, granted, the Browns did the Chargers, but I just don't trust either one of these damn teams. So I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place. I don't know. Give me the Patriots here. Belichick's a better coach. That's the only excuse that I got for you. Don't like picking them on the road, but I don't like picking you one of these teams, to be quite honest with you, until Deshaun Watson comes back at the very least, and he could be rusty at that. We move on to the next game. We have the New York Jets at the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers find themselves 3-2. A really disappointing loss last week against the New York Giants. I don't know what happened across the pond, but they just did not show up last week against the New York Giants. And, again, the Giants are playing well this year. They're 4-1, but that was definitely a disappointing loss. Now, are they going to lose to back-to-back New York teams? Although, hey, both the New York teams are above 500. One of them 3 games above 500. This could be a resurgence of the New York teams finally after years, and I mean years, of these teams being awful. Finally, the New York teams are showing signs of life, and I think the Jets very well might cover the 7.5-point spread here, but I got to go with the Packers to win this game in Green Bay, even though it's not even that cold yet. We move on to the next game. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. And man, you see, isn't it just beautiful? Well, it is to me, because for some reason, everyone was already proclaiming that the Jacksonville Jaguars had arrived. That's hilarious. I mean, it was hilarious. It was one of the funniest narratives that was floating around the first 3 weeks. Now they lost at home to the Houston Texans, scoring 6 points, and everyone's like, well, they're still the Jaguars. Well, duh. Guys, they're not going to be a playoff team this year, unless if the Titans just decide we don't want it. If we decide that we want it, okay, we're going to get it. That's not the problem. Jaguars can still win 6, 7, 8 games. They're not a 9+ win team yet. Trevor Lawrence still has to develop. I haven't seen nearly enough of that at this point. He's not like Joe Burrow in his second year, not even close by a long shot. So give me the Jaguars to win here, just because the Texans are truly that awful. I mean, they're a team that should not win more than 3-4 games this season under Lovie Smith. So I feel comfortable picking the Jags here and not to lose back-to-back AFC South matchups. But if they are and they go 2-4, I wouldn't mind, because I'm not afraid about the Indianapolis Colts at all. They stink. The whole AFC South stinks. The only team that's worth the damn is my team. And even we're not playing that well. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to win in Indianapolis. Move on to the Minnesota Vikings at the Miami Dolphins, where the Dolphins find themselves 3-2. The Dolphins find themselves starting Skylar Thompson at quarterback. Very interesting indeed. The third string man himself, after Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know if he has a concussion or not. Now, he's in the protocol, so I assume he has a concussion, or at least signs of a concussion, because it really did not seem like he should have been taken out in last week's game. But excuse me, with the paranoia that went on, that was a decision that was made, I guess. Very odd decision, if you ask me. He looked fine to me. Turns out, I guess he's hurt. Okay, so Skylar Thompson's going to start. Now, Skylar Thompson, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a rookie, 7th-round rookie at that. Or is he a rookie or a sophomore player? Actually, one of the two, but 7th-round quarterback at that. And the guy, he should be a rookie, Kansas State. And he did not play well last week. He had an interception, had a fumble. He's just not ready to start in this spot against the Vikings and get the job done, even at home. If Teddy Bridgewater is starting here, I would actually like the Dolphins to upset here and beat the Vikings. But with Skylar Thompson, I just can't do it. Give me the Vikings to win this game in Miami. By the way, I was picking, and I am picking, a lot of teams on the road this week. We're going to see if it pays off, but a lot of the road teams are good plays. We move on to the next game. You have the Cincinnati Bengals at the New Orleans Saints, where the Bengals find themselves struggling a little bit, as Joe Namath would say, a drunk Joe Namath at that. They're struggling. Now, they go to New Orleans, where New Orleans, I don't know who they're going to be starting at quarterback. Is it going to be Jameis? Is it going to be Andy Dalton? I don't know. It's going to be Taysom Hill continuing to run the ball well. I don't know. He had 3 touchdowns last week. 4 total, 3 rushing. So who knows? But it's interesting because they schemed their way to a decent performance last week. They could do it again here. They've been performing decently without Jameis. I kind of want to pick New Orleans here. The problem is the Bengals, we're still giving the benefit of the doubt, maybe foolishly, because, we're still riding off of the fact that they lost the Super Bowl last year, and we're still giving them maybe more credit than they deserve for that. Because at some point, they're going to have to play well. Now, the loss against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore last week, that's not a bad loss. Plus, they lost on their game-winning field goal. So they showed up last week, for sure. But they're 2-3. That's not up to snuff. So it's hard to predict them to go 2-4. And I already saw the Saints as a game at home this year to the Falcons. So I'm going to go Bengals here, but just know it's very begrudgingly. I wanted to go Saints. I wanted to put my balls on the table and pick a couple more of these home teams, and the Saints would have been a perfect opportunity to do so. But I can't quite do it. I got to pick the Bengals to get the job done in New Orleans. Move on to the next game, the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants, where the Ravens find themselves showing up. They look like Super Bowl-ish contenders. They look like, Lamar Jackson might finally be ready to ascend and take his team to true contention with a big win last week against Cincinnati. So I like that. New York, 4-1, beating the Green Bay Packers last week. Few people saw that coming. I certainly did, even across the pond on a neutral field. That was a big upset win for the New York Giants. Can they keep the ball rolling? I mean, you just have to imagine not. Now, Brian Daboll's doing a hell of a job. He's the front runner for Coach of the Year, deservedly so. But you have to feel that the Giants here, even at home, hosting a superior Baltimore Ravens team, are going to fall, giving the Ravens another road team to get the job done here. You see a trend with the road teams this week. Are we going to be in trouble doing this? We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Pittsburgh Steelers, where the Steelers look bad. Wow. And look, I like Kenny Pickett, man. The guy can sling the rock, and I'm not going to pass judgment on him yet, but they were trying to spark their offense. They did anything but. Wow, their offense stinks. Their offensive line's terrible. Najee Harris is looking more and more like a potential bust, although I want to blame the offensive line more than him. What else can I do than look at what's on the field and the product that's being shown and displayed on the field? Here comes Tampa Bay. Strolling into town, and they're not even playing that well, but they continue to win games. They continue to scheme their way to games and to wins. Ultimately, there's no way this is going to be as of right now, and I still want to see what happens when they get Chris Godwin and Julio Jones back. And Julio Jones, I don't know if he's going to be healthy he's not going to be healthy in a 17-game season ever again. I don't know if he's going to be healthy for any stretch of games ever again, so I'm already discounting that. But let's see Chris Godwin at the very least. But right now, I'm not considering the Bucs to be true Super Bowl contenders. I mean, they could go far in the NFC. It's the NFC. Until further notice, hell, the 49ers are now back. They're looking like Super Bowl contenders. We all know how good the Eagles are playing, and the Cowboys as well. So, to me, they're behind all those teams. And yes, even the Cowboys, who they beat week 1, I'd say right now, I like how the Cowboys are playing better than the Bucs right now. Just right now. But we'll see how the season continues to progress. But for this game, I feel like the Steelers are going to show signs of life. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win. I would like to, but they just haven't been showing enough. And if your offense is struggling and now here comes the Bucs defense, how could I say that now you're going to magically put up points? I can't say anything of the sort. So give me the Bucs to win this game in Pittsburgh, but it's going to be a little interesting, more interesting than some people are predicting. We have the Carolina Panthers at the Los Angeles Rams, where the Rams find themselves at home facing a Panthers team here. The Rams continue to struggle. This is no good because you want to see more from them at this point. Panthers continue to struggle mightily. One of the worst teams in the league, barreling towards C.J. Stroud, they hope. And it's just going to depend on whether or not they go full tank mode. But the problem with the Panthers is they have talent. They have more talent than the Houston Texans. They have Brian Burns. They have Derek Brown. They have J.C. Horn. They have DJ Moore. They have weapons. They have Christian McCaffrey. The quarterback situation this year has been awful, and the head coach situation absolutely has been. And now you have Steve Wilkes, a guy that still wants to prove that he could be a head coach in this league one day, and then he got a bad rap in Arizona. So I expect the Panthers to have a bit of a resurgence, and it might start here, but it's P.J. Walker, who actually has been decent as a backup and in spot duty. So I'm not completely discounting this possibility. However, I am going to go with the Rams here to get it done at home, mainly because they're at home and they're stringing together too many poor games in a row. But look out here for a potential upset as well here. Yeah, there was a Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks, where Geno Smith continues to play well. Wow. Can you imagine if Geno Smith played at this form back when he was in New York? The Jets fans would have lost their damn minds. He would have sold millions of jerseys. He would have been a star, an absolute star. A little too late, but hey, I guess maybe sometimes some of us don't figure ourselves out until we're in our 30s. I think he's 30. Hey, he's at least 28. He should be 30. That was that was the NFL draft of 2013, so he definitely should be 30. But anyway, so he's finally figuring it out. It helps when you have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, by the way. That's always bound to help a little bit. And an improved Seahawks offensive line, although still not great, an improved one and a relevant run game. All signs point to the Seahawks winning this game. But the Cardinals are desperate. And I like teams that are desperate at times. And you really feel like the Cardinals, man, at a certain point, look, I had them making the playoffs. And at this point, I can't see that. I'm not going to completely back off of that. But, I mean, I should. I mean, that's what all signs point to. So I'm having a hard time with this game. I can't see the Cardinals just continue to struggle like this. And the Seahawks, their defense is so bad. So give me the Cardinals who have won on the road this year. They're 0-3 at home. They're 2-0 on the road. I don't know what's going on with that. If I'm a home fan in Arizona, I'm pissed. But I'm going to pick Arizona here. And Seattle's not that scared anymore, like in terms of a scary place to play. I've seen the Falcons go there and play well. So give me the Cardinals to win this game here in Seattle, but I'm not feeling comfortable about it at all. The Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is now what people are already proclaiming to be the preview for the AFC Championship. We'll see, but these two are definitely the best teams in the AFC currently. The Bills, overall, have been in better form than the Chiefs. Overall. Right? They've had dominating victories. The Chiefs, not dominating, but they've had strong victories for sure. And Josh Allen and Mahomes playing at an elite level too. But Josh Allen's playing at right now, I'd say MVP level. But Mahomes is right there. They're both neck and neck. It feels like this is a perfect opportunity for Josh Allen to get some revenge. Now remember, I still have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl this year. So I could easily see the Chiefs returning the favor, and that's what I still have. Returning the favor in the AFC playoffs and getting it done against Buffalo, maybe even in Buffalo if they have to. I still have this. But right now, I think the better form's on Buffalo. I think momentum's on Buffalo's side. The way their defense is playing, the Chiefs' defense, while it's improved, in my opinion, at least roster-wise. Maybe I can't say that in terms of actual play on the field. I can't say that in terms of the play on the field. But, I just like, some of the addition that they have. The Bills' defense is right now, it's just dominant. And it's hard to pick against their combination of offense and defense right now. So give me the Bills to get it done. And what I'm sure will be yet another classic between these two teams. We have the NFC, we have the Sunday Night Football game, the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles, where the Eagles are 5-0, Cowboys are 4-1. I'm expecting Cooper Rush to start in this game. We'll see on that, though, just because I don't think Dak Prescott quite has the grip strength that they would like for him to have at this point. Now, if he plays, that's not going to change my prediction. It would change my prediction on the spread, because if Cooper Rush plays, I have the Eagles winning and covering. If Dak Prescott plays, and assuming he's healthy, I'd have the Cowboys covering, but the Eagles still winning. I think the Eagles are just in better form right now. If this game is it was in Dallas, I might feel different, but this is going to be one of the more hostile crowds Dallas decided to face in Philadelphia in like the last 4 years. And I don't think they're quite ready for that right now. So ultimately, give me the Eagles to win this one. And then we have the Monday Night Football game. We have the Denver Broncos at the LA Chargers, where, whoa, the Denver Broncos, my goodness gracious, what an awful, awful, awful offense that we are currently seeing from Denver. I mean, Russell Wilson, they're letting Russ cook, and he ain't cooking up nothing. He's one of he's Chef Boyardee. I don't know what Russ is cooking in Denver. So this is a bad situation. But, I mean, hey, That's what happens sometimes. You go after these free agent swings and then it just doesn't work out for you. LA Chargers at home. They're still not as dominant as we'd like for them to be. So there's still upset potential here, but I just know how you can pick the Broncos to win anything unless they're facing a poor team right now. They can only beat the worst teams in the league. And the Chargers, while they're not as good as they should be at this point, they're not that. So give me the Chargers. All right, move on to my Gary Damn Tees of the week. These are my betting picks of the week. We begin with the San Francisco 49ers. That should say -5.5. My God, I wish that there were 5.5 underdogs against Atlanta. -5.5 against the Atlanta Falcons. Again, I feel comfortable saying that they're going to win. I know the Falcons have been 5-0 against the spread this year. It ends. You're not going to go undefeated not against the spread. Not against the spread. It's just not going to continue to happen. Eventually, Vegas is going to come back and haunt you. And I think it happens here. Give me the 49ers -5.5. Give me the Jaguars +1.5. Again, I think they're going to be the Colts this week. I think it's time for them to bounce back, get a win after 2 straight losses. It feels like a good opportunity for them to do that. So I love the Jaguars -1.5. Vikings +3.5. Sorry, this is a minus. Vikings -3.5. Again, I feel comfortable with them winning and beating Skylar Thompson this week. It's just not a matchup that gives me any sort of concern whatsoever. So I like that 100%. Give me the Steelers +8. Again, I like this number. This is going to be surprising to a lot of people, especially because they couldn't even cover the +14 last week against the who was it? The Pittsburgh Steelers? No, against Pittsburgh. Sorry, against the Buffalo Bills. But again, I just believe in Mike Tomlin ultimately. Come on, dog. He has to show up and just inject something into this team, inject some sort of life into this team. I'm not seeing yet as of this moment, but that's what I feel comfortable having. So I only have 4 picks this week, not 5 or 6. I didn't feel comfortable with a lot of the lines. I was picking a lot of road teams, and I'm like, let me just play it safe. Let me aim for 3-1, 4-0. Only 4 guarantees of the week, but they are my guarantees of the week. So there you go. Those are my NFL Week 6 picks and predictions. What are your picks and predictions? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.